So we're back from the DR. Sorry we took so long. We were on vacation. We were wedding planning or trying to wedding plan, but we had to check out our venue. And let me just tell you, the DR is safe. The people are amazing. The people are wonderful. We loved it there.
Don't judge a whole country by something that happened in one place. That's like so ignorant.
Yeah,
Ugh.
don't do it.
Ugh.
Amazing.
Stop commenting on our pictures saying don't die. We're back home. We're fine.
We're all
We're
good.
good. But we love Yada. We love Yada. We love Yada.
You love me like yeah. You love me like no. You love me like oh, 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 oh. You love me like yeah. You love me like no.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's
Drake.
and Brie, and you're watching Where Do You Wait?
So we got a new topic for you today.
Ooh.
It's called You Can't Handle the Truth. Why the truth in relationships is not as important as you think.
That was a new voice.
Like that, don't you? Anyways, so let's talk about the first thing. It's not what you say, but how you say it. We all know when it comes to communicate, when it comes to, well, let me break it down like this. The reason why we chose this topic is that we feel like it's important because a lot of people or a lot of relationships, we have our issues and we have our problems. But I feel like people, or we think that just because we're saying truthful things in our relationship, that just gives us like the trump card to be immune from, doing anything wrong. Yeah, the other person's feelings. So it's like, a lot of times I feel like we communicate the truth in such a harsh way instead of communicating the truth out of love. Give a good example of that, Brie.
Well, I was trying to start my fitness journey, and I remember telling Dre, which, I mean, he was very valid in what he said, but I remember saying, like, I don't want to eat this stuff anymore. Like, I don't want to eat Chipotle anymore. I need to give myself, like, a good time frame of, like, what I said, like, 60 or 90 days. It was right when I started the challenge, like, 90 days of, like, no alcohol, no fried foods, no breads, no pastas, none of this. And I'm gonna work out extra hard every single day. I'm gonna get ready for this wedding. And I remember, like, one day Dre said something like, why are you eating that? Or like, why aren't you working out? Or it was like just like a question, a statement that was valid, but made me feel like he was attacking me, because even though I said, like, I don't like how big I've gotten and I want to lose weight or I want to do this or that, the moment that he said something about what I was eating, I felt like he was like calling me fat. And I'm like, what? What did you say? Even though I literally just communicated to him that I wanted to do all these things. So fast forward, like 2 weeks, I want to say, Dre surprised me with like this really nice black foam mat for our living room, because I was telling him how I wanted to like be able to do Insanity, but I don't really have anywhere to do it. So like the mat was a way to suggest, like, hey, here's a helpful thing for you to get what you want done a little easier. He started waking up early with me, was going and working out with me. So like he made me feel like it was a team thing, not like a you're fat, you need to work out thing. So still communicating the exact same thing, but in a completely different way that was beneficial for the relationship, was a healthy way of just making me feel encouraged and like he cared versus like pointing the finger.
Aw. See, that I feel like this is not a real statistic, but I feel like 95% of relationships, I won't say end, but have their issues, not because the truth isn't told, but more the way the truth is communicated to the person. And that rolls into our next kind of point, and that's what position are you taking in your arguments or your conversations with the person that you're communicating the truth with. So I read this book. It's called Thank You for Arguing, and it teaches you how to argue, not like fight, which a lot of people do in relationships, but argue. And it talks about the positions that you can take in a conversation or argument, and they're blame, values, and choice. So one is in the past, one is in the present, one's in the future. So blame is in the past. And blame is one of those things, one of those positions that causes for justice. And when you think about justice, you think about the courtroom. And when you have the courtroom, you have like the prosecution, but then you also have the defendant. So a lot of times when you have that blame position in an argument, it makes the person defensive. It doesn't matter if you're telling,
especially if you're female, you got attitude.
it don't matter if you're telling the truth. As soon as you go to the blame position in a relationship or in a conversation, it's going to lead to somebody being defensive. So this is an example. If I'm listening to music and Bree's like, hey, Dre, can you turn that music down a little bit? And I'm like, well, you're the one who left it up at this volume in the first place. Blame. It don't matter if that is the truth, because she's gonna automatically get defensive because I'm blaming her for what has happened. She's gonna be like, what? And then that's how, we all know how real fights start, because then she's gonna start to bring up something. And what happens in court when you're a defendant? You start to bring up things to prove your case. So then things gonna start coming from 3 months ago, 10 months ago. Well, you the one, you telling me I didn't put the volume down. Let's talk about how you didn't put my window up when I tell you. It's like, things started to happening, but it wasn't a lack of the truth being communicated. It was how the truth was communicated. So the second position is values. And values, whenever you question someone's values, you're always going to get an argument or a fight. That's why they always say at your job, don't discuss religion, race, politics, because that questions somebody's values. So say I'm listening to music again, and Bree's like, hey, can you turn that music down? And I'm like, so you don't like Christian music? You don't believe in Jesus or something? Like, what's up with you? It's like, if you take that reaction, that puts in question somebody's values. So they're always gonna get defensive and try to justify why, they're a good person or this or that. So you don't want to take the position of, values in a conversation either. So the third one is in the future tense, and that's choice. And this is the thing that I learned to start to do more, like Bree said, getting her the mat. It's a way to communicate things without like blaming her or questioning like her value. Why are you eating that cake? Or why are you doing this? Like not questioning who she is. So choice is like, if we're using the same music example, if Bree's like, Dre, can you turn on the music? And I'll be like, all right, yeah, I can do that, but do you want me to like change the song? You don't really like this song? Or like, do you really want me to turn the music down? Like doing things like that, or saying like, hey, if you give me like 10 minutes, that's my song, how I like to do, like just different things to where you can still get your way without having to take positions of blaming her or blaming the other person or questioning their values. You create open-ended things to be able to solve those situations. Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
We're working on that. It's hard. It's easy, especially when you get frustrated, to like blame because you're already frustrated in the situation, because it's just like, why is things going like this? Even if it's not at your partner specifically, you're just frustrated. It's very easy to go to the blame thing. But make sure you just stay cognizant, that's right,
yeah,
of it when you're having a conversation with somebody. And third, it's okay to walk away. That sometimes when you're having arguments, or having fights, and you get to that point to where the truth is told in a non-loving way, it feels like, and you guys...
Why are you looking at me?
No, I was just saying.
Oh, okay.
In a non-loving way, and you guys are starting to yell things that may be true at one another, but the communication is you're not really communicating, you're just yelling at each other. That at some point, somebody has to walk away and live another day, or live to fight another day. And we've experienced this in our relationship for sure, to where it's like, all right, we just need to get that person's space. Or I guess that's more me.
Giving me space.
At times it's like, all right, I need to give her some space.
I know this isn't part of the video, but I think it's really important to know who you're dealing with, because certain people handle things differently too. So it's like, just because you had a girlfriend, a year ago that handled things this way, it's like, don't address your next partner or person like there's someone else, or like they're like you. That's the worst. It took us a while to learn how we like to argue, because I had a way and he had a way, and they were very different. Dre doesn't really argue, he like discusses. I argue. Like,
she fights.
I'm out
She verbally
to hurt some
she
feelings.
verbally fights.
Not anymore though.
She's working
Right?
on it.
But that's important, because if you don't know how someone actually is and how they truly feel and how they deal with situations, and the only way that you would know that is by talking to them about their past and like other relationships and like the friendships and their family and the dynamics that they grew up in, because you can't assume, and that's kind of worse if you assume that someone's going to take some type of way that they should deal with it how you deal with it. Like, that's the worst. Like, I remember when we had like our first argument, and like Dre literally made me feel like I was crazy for how I reacted, which does seem crazy if you react how he reacts. But I had to explain to him like, yo, I didn't grow up in your household. Like, I didn't see the things that you saw growing up. Like, I don't have healthy discussions and communications with a lot of people in my life or in my past. So like, what you're talking about is so new and so random to me that like, I don't know how to do that yet. So it's important. And then if you are the Dre in the relationship, you have to be patient, because the Bree in the relationship is not gonna learn in a day, in a month, maybe not even a year, because it's hard, it's new, and it's not natural for some people. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, as Bree is saying, it's more about how you communicate things. And when it comes to the truth, it doesn't matter if you're telling the truth, if you're saying it in a hurtful, mean, yelling way, or a way that you know that your significant other won't receive it.
Yeah.
Because of how they accept communication or how they view. So you may have to be creative in how you say these things. You may have to be patient to wait for behaviors. Or it's not about also how you say it, it's when you say it. That let the person, show a pattern of behavior or something before you go out and, try to tell them the truth or be real.
And you also don't even have to communicate with your words only. Like, when Dre got that mat, like that was a huge, like I knew exactly what he was saying by getting to the mat, and he didn't have to say anything, he just got it, and like his actions meant more than words. So it's like you can also just do things to encourage the person, or at the end of the day help them out or communicate without actually being verbal, because people will pay attention and it works.
Show does.
Show does.
Tell the truth about it. That's all we ask.
Oh, you want a kiss?
Mm-hmm. Right to the screen.
No, me. Come on, give these people a show.
All right, guys.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you. Oh, wait. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, okay? Because we're almost at 15K subscribers. We're so excited. We're just so thankful and so happy that you guys love us enough to subscribe. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so now. Follow us on Instagram at itsjsmith, at Brianna Apante, and at Worth the Wait.